Hello, friends. It's Joelle from Zenergy Group. I am coming to you today to talk to you about the concept of wanting something versus allowing something when it comes to creating the life that you want. You know, I often give you these podcast episodes based on things that are going on in my life or that I'm seeing like a running theme in my coaching clients, stuff that they're dealing with. This topic happens to be something that I am consistently working through in this season of pivot that I'm in. And so as I have continued to fine tune my routines around this, my thoughts and perspective around this, I want to loop you in and share it with you. So with all that being said, let's dive in. So I want you to think about one thing that you really, really want. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe a dream job, maybe it's, you're not in the best of health and you want to feel better. You want a body that feels good, or you want to be healthy. Maybe it's just financial. Maybe you want more money, but think about that one thing that you really, really want. How often do you think about that thing? Probably every day. So as humans, we think between 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And 90% of those thoughts are repetitive thoughts. That means 90% of those thoughts are going to be the same thoughts you thought the day before and the day before and the day before, and so on and so forth. 90% of those thoughts you think pretty much every day. And of those, 80% of those thoughts are negative. So 90% of the thoughts you think a day are repetitive, meaning you're thinking about them day after day after day, maybe different versions of them, but it's the same type of thought. And of those repetitive thoughts, 80% of those are negative thoughts, guys. So think about that one thing that you really, really want that you don't have yet. Now ask yourself, from what type of energy are you thinking about this thing? The data shows that a lot of us are thinking about that thing from a scarcity, from a it's not here yet, which is in essence negative, if you will. Because when we're focused on something that's not here, we are attracting more lack. We are attracting more scarcity, more thoughts that align with that type of frequency. So are you thinking about it from scarcity? Are you thinking about it from need? Like it has to come. I need this. I need a man. I need a job. I need more money. Like it is a need. Or are you thinking about it from worry? Well, if this doesn't come, then what? If I never get a man and I never get married and I'll never have kids, or if I never get my dream job and I'll never be able to afford a house, or I'll never be able to. So then we're in worry. If you're thinking about something, if there's something that you really, really want and you don't have it yet, and you've been thinking about it for a really long time, I am challenging you to think about from what type of energy are you thinking about that thing? Is it a need? Is it scarcity? Is it worry? It's so important to understand the concept of wanting or needing something versus allowing it, because the difference between those is the key. Because the difference is desperation versus expectation. It's lack, meaning I don't have it. It's scarce. It's not here, versus abundance. How you think about that thing that you really, really want, or those things you really, really want that you don't have yet, is going to dictate where you are on your path to receiving it. Are you on the lack section leg of it, or the abundance? Are you in the desperation season of trying to receive what you want, or expectation that it's going to come or it's going to happen for you? So let's really dive into the nature of wanting, because I want to make sure that we understand, for the purpose of this conversation, what that means. So wanting means something is not there. It's not present, or whatever you do have is not up to your standards. So you want something new. It's not there. The thing about wanting something so bad creates resistance, because if you're focused so much on, I want this, I don't have it. I want this, it's not here. I want this, I've been wanting it forever, I still don't have it. That is the energy of lack. That is a vibration of scarcity. And because you're focused on the fact that you don't have it. And when you're operating from this energy, that gives desperation, because you need it so much. And so when you're desperate because you want something so bad, at this point you're desperate, it opens up the door for things like settling, for things like manipulation. So let's talk through an example of that. Let's look at like relationships, because I know that is such a hot ticket item, and it always will be, because we're humans and it's natural for us to want our partner, our person. When you are in a space that you cannot be alone, you need to have a man, consciously or unconsciously, you're giving off an energy of need and desperation. So even as a woman who, maybe you aren't the loudest woman in the room, but you're in the room, men can smell that. Their spidey senses, they can smell a desperate woman. And so when you're giving that energy, because that's the thought vibration that you operate on all the time, you fall for manipulation. You fall for the bait of whatever game they're going to throw at you to get you. You fall for the peacocking. And I call it peacocking when guys are like always trying to show and prove, like, oh, I've got this kind of job, or I got this kind of car, or, he's throwing his car keys on the table like, oh, I drive a so-and-so, or whatever it is. I've got, they're always, male peacocks push their feathers out when they're trying to attract women. That's why they do that. They walk around with their little feathers all fanned out. That's peacocking. And so that's what I call that. But when you are desperate because you need in the realm of relationships, so you need a man or you need a woman, like you are falling for that type of stuff because you are trying to fill a void versus actually doing the inner work and being whole and coming from a place of allowing a relationship to come and allowing things to unfold. You will be taken advantage of when you are constantly in a need space. So how do you know if you're in a state of wanting? You know it because you feel anxious. And anxiety is rooted in the future. So you're wanting something that's not there, and you're overthinking, and you're chasing your tail. You're in a hamster wheel. You're anxious. You're impatient because you're feeling like I don't have enough time to do, time's running out. When is it going to come? And frustration. I know it because I've been there. I've been in a situation. There was a season of my career where I was in a position that I had to get out. I did not like my job. And I was so desperate to get out of that scenario because I was so unhappy that I was looking at things that were not even in the realm of experience that I had. Like, I was like, I'm going to go sell insurance. I don't care what it is. I cannot freaking do this anymore. And had I not reeled myself back in and applied these concepts that I'm telling you about today, I probably would have jumped the coop, gone off and done something, running away from a problem and not running to a dream or to something that was going to fulfill me or light me up, because I was desperate and I would have just settled for anything, for the temporary relief. And that is not the energy that is going to bring you the true things that your soul desires. So let's talk about allowing. So the definition of allowing to fail to restrain or to fail to prevent. So allowing means you are not resisting. You are not preventing it. You are allowing. So it's surrendering. It's letting go. It's expectation. Allowing implies trust and faith. Faith that things are going to work out. Faith that the prayers that you've put up will be answered. Faith that you will be guided by infinite intelligence or whatever lane you believe in, but faith that a higher power is guiding you, ordering your steps. Faith and need are not on the same frequency. So we can't claim to have faith, but then be needing and wanting something so bad. Allowing and faith is expectations. That means I have put out an intention. I have put up a prayer. I have made a decision that this is what I want, and I know that it's coming to me, period. When you operate in allowing, it calls in the things you desire because you get the energy that you give. So if you are giving the energy of trust, belief, faith, surrendering, letting go, then you are able to receive because you're giving out the energy of I am surrendering, I am letting this go, and then you're open to getting. But when you are operating in need or I want this so bad, you aren't on the frequency to even receive the inspiration to go do something, to go to a place that may lead to this. You can't even hear or feel that nudge or that calling because you're not in the same vicinity. I'll give you guys a real life example. This is truly what made me want to start jotting down these thoughts and recording this podcast. So I think if you've listened to this podcast enough, you know that I have just made a pivot and I have left a 20-year career in corporate America and I am focusing on Zenergy full time. I'm going full throttle, no looking back type vibe. That's the season that I'm in. It's such a pivot from what I have been used to for, the first half of my life. So in this scenario where I am diving into building a business from the ground up and I have left my main source of income, I am thrusted into the concept of allowing versus needing or wanting. So allowing my business to grow and allowing my business to unfold is definitely different. That's a whole different mindset and a whole different set of thoughts than needing it to work out so that I can survive. I need Zenergy to work because how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to maintain the lifestyle that I'm used to living? How am I going to do A, B, and C? What if this happens? If I let myself sit there, I miss the things that are coming to me that will help my business unfold and grow. And so I have trained myself. And again, I am working through this, but I have gotten good enough at it that it feels different inside. But I have become what I call an energetic snob when it comes to this. I will not allow myself to stay in a frequency of need or wanting this because I need to survive. If I'm not careful, my thoughts will go there because it's been years of programming and training in scarcity and lack. That is a concept that I adopted growing up. So unknowingly to me, I learned lack and scarcity just, living with a single mom. I mean, that's just how the cookie crumbled for us. So lack and scarcity mindset was already in. That's been how I operated for so long. So shifting over to allowing, which is the frequency of faith, trust, abundance, that has been a pivot for me. But I'm going to tell you guys how I do it and how it's working for me. So how do you shift from wanting to allowing? So I've got four techniques that I use that I want to share. So the first one, and it's a big heavy hitter, and you're going to know it, but I'm going to hopefully reframe it for you differently. The first tip in shifting from wanting to allowing is gratitude. Here's the difference. There are different types of gratitude. I think a lot of you are familiar with gratitude for. It's like conditional. It's kind of like, well, I'm grateful for this. I'm so grateful because this happened. So I have gratitude for something. It's conditional. Like, oh, I got a promotion. I'm so grateful. Well, I'm grateful because I got the promotion. I'm grateful because, something happened. The gratitude that I'm talking about to shift you from wanting to allowing is gratitude in. I am grateful in life. I am grateful no matter what is going on around me, no matter what is going on in my life, I am grateful. So what I started doing, and this has worked so much for me internally in shifting how I feel, which will impact what I manifest. I have started in the mornings before my feet even hit the ground out of bed. When you wake up, you know how you're in that twilight phase where you're kind of like awake and you're lying in bed, even if it's for like 30 seconds or, a few minutes, but you're just kind of there and like you're coming to. I know for me, that is when my mind will start off on all the laundry list of things, either that happened yesterday that I needed to do today, like it will just go off and running. And so what I have done is I have started the first thing that I do, I've trained my subconscious, we go straight into gratitude. And I'm lying there and it's really my subconscious that's doing the gratitude, that's doing like the gratitude rampage, if you will. So I will find things that I'm grateful for and it will just, now it feeds it to me. So, this morning I woke up and I was laying in bed and like immediately my inner mind was like, okay, what are we grateful for? And it's like pulling, because your subconscious is like your inner lawyer. So its job is to find and present evidence based on whatever it is you're thinking. So it doesn't know if it's good stuff, bad stuff, positive, negative. It has no idea. It just knows, okay, we're thinking about this. Let me go find evidence. So when I say, okay, what am I grateful for? It's going to find the evidence. I'm grateful for my dog. I'm grateful for whatever it is. And so I will sit there for even if it's 30 seconds to a few minutes, but I will go through that before I even get out of the bed. And so that sets the tone for my day, because before I started that practice, when I was very unconscious of this, I would be already, when my feet hit the ground, I'm already like, oh, I got to do this. God, I don't feel like doing that crap today. Oh, I'm not looking forward to this meeting today or this call, or God, dog it, I got this deadline. I got to work on this crap. Like that is how I be getting up, like starting my day. And that is a frequency. That puts you on a frequency, and guess how the rest of your day is going to go when that's how you wake up. So starting the gratitude in before your feet even hit the ground is a whole game changer. I promise you guys, it is everything. So that's my practical tip number one in how to shift from wanting to allowing is gratitude in. Gratitude in life, gratitude no matter what is going on, you find something that you can be grateful for. And some days for me, it may just be, I am grateful that I woke up today and I am breathing and I'm healthy. Let's just start there. For all of you who are probably thinking, well, I don't have anything to be grateful for. Yes, you do. Okay. Tip number 2 is affirmations or affirming things. So this is important because as you're shifting from wanting to allowing, you have to train your subconscious mind to shift with you. You can consciously tell yourself something all the time. I'm grateful, but you need to like feel that. You have to You have to unconsciously know this. And the way to do that is affirm. The subconscious mind works on repetition. So that is why a lot of people do affirmations daily, because it trains your mind into different thoughts. Remember how we talked about initially 70,000 up to 70,000 thoughts a day we think. 80% are repetitive. That's because your subconscious mind is running your life. It's running 95% of what you do, including your thought. So when you start to affirm, when you deliberately and make a conscious effort to say whatever these affirmations are, you're training it to think something different. So these affirmations like, everything is always working out for me, God is in control, or, source is in control, whatever higher power name works for you, or the universe has my back. Get your affirmations in order and do them every day. I do them for 5 minutes a day. I don't do any longer than that, because research shows that your subconscious mind at that point, after 5 minutes, it becomes background noise. So you want to just do it for, it doesn't have to be full 5 minutes, but no more than 5 minutes. A lot of times with affirmations, I hear this a lot. People are always asking me like, well, what happens when you have affirmations that you just don't believe? Like, I'm a millionaire when you know you aren't a millionaire. My answer to that always is, I call it stepping it out. Just, you got to put one foot in front of the other. So you can't leap to, let's say you want more money. You want to shift from desperately wanting money so bad and focusing on the lack of it to actually allowing more money. Then saying I'm a millionaire is probably not going to work. You want to say money flows to me easily. Something easy like, I am open to receiving financial abundance every day. I am open to receiving financial abundance every day. When you start saying that to yourself, and then when you find that dime or quarter on the floor, pick it up and be like, I am open to receiving financial abundance every day. That's the training. Those are the steps to get you to being able to then say, I'm a millionaire. Because once you become a few hundred thousandaire, then maybe becoming a millionaire isn't that big of a leap, but you have to get there. So that's practical tip number 2 is affirmations and shifting from wanting to allowing. We got gratitude. We've got affirmations. The third one, shocker, meditation. Meditation can be done in different forms. It doesn't always have to be sitting with your crisscross applesauce with your hands out. It doesn't always have to be that. You can find what works for you. Maybe it's just sitting in silence and letting your thoughts go, letting your thoughts just come across like clouds. Maybe it's putting your earbuds in and putting on a meditation track to music, or a guided one, because that's better than trying to, do it in silence or watch your thoughts. You just want to do a guided meditation with music. It may just be taking a walk. A lot of you get up and do walks in the morning, which is great. It's good to be out in nature, but now walk with an intention. Don't just take the walk and with an intention, be present. Whatever that intention is, like, I'm going to soak up the air today. My intention today is to hear from God. I want to hear, tell me my next steps. Tell me what I should do about this. You want to put that intention out while you're putting on your walking shoes or your running shoes. This is my intention today as I walk. I want you to guide me. I want you to speak to me, and then go out on your walk. That's a form of meditation. It's training your brain and opening you up for guidance in the steps and the stuff you've been looking for. So that is practical tip number 3. So we got gratitude, affirmations, meditation, and then the last one is just releasing resistance immediately. So when I say resistance, I mean when you're pushing against everything. So you'll know that you will know resistance because you'll feel it. Like you're feeling tight, wound up, frustrated, inside, like, oh, that's where you're resisting something. You're not allowing. And so in order to shift from a mindset of wanting something, needing something to allowing it, you've got to be able to release the resistance and stop it soon as you feel it. And the more you practice this, that you will catch it earlier and earlier. So the way to do this is the minute you start feeling off or whatever it is inside, it feels different to different people, tight in the chest, your head, wherever you feel it. Pivot immediately and pull and do an affirmation, because if you're feeling that resistance, that's your nervous system not being regulated. So your nervous system is in survival mode. And so you have to create the space to say to yourself, I'm feeling tight in my chest. What's going on right now? I'm safe. I'm okay. I am not in danger. You're feeling tight and wound up because, again, your subconscious mind doesn't know that you're not in danger. It just knows something's going on. And really, it's these unconscious thoughts of worry, frustration. Those are thoughts that you're not on a battlefield dodging bullets right now, but that's how it feels to your nervous system. So you want to immediately notice that. And I've said this before on my podcast, I'll put my hand over my heart, depending on if it's real bad, if it's one of those like, whoo, I will put my hand over my heart and say, I am safe. I am secure. I am safe. I am secure. If it's not really bad and it's just one of those like, oh, I'm feeling like really annoyed right now, and just do an affirmation. Everything is always working out for me. That's my favorite one. I got it from Abraham Hicks. I love it. It applies to everything. I use it all the time. And that's a general one, because that immediately tells your subconscious mind, like, everything's fine. Everything's working out. No matter what it is right now that I think is a threat, it's going to work out because I expect it to. I have faith. I trust that it will. And so you want to release that resistance immediately. That's the fourth practical tip, to shift from wanting to allowing, because it's training your subconscious to think new thoughts, and it's regulating your nervous system. So hopefully those four things help. They have worked tremendously for me. They have gotten me through a season of making a hard pivot and truly feeling like, what the hell am I doing? These four things have gotten me to wake up every day and be able to take on the day and say, okay, what is the most important thing for me to do in my business today? What do I need to do to help me build this today? That has set the tone for me, and it makes a huge difference. Let's talk about how to integrate the balance of desiring something and allowing it, because I'm using the word wanting a lot, and wanting can be very simple. That wanting you can want without needing. And so I want to talk through how to integrate having a desire for something and also being able to allow at the same time. You want to be able to set an intention for something that you desire without clinging to the outcome. I hope you guys understand this, because this is huge. A lot of times we get caught up in the how, and it keeps you on the wanting hamster wheel, because you get caught up in details, and the details can start to seem impossible, and that will make you continually overthink. I am speaking from 100% experience. I could be the poster child for this. When I tell you I can overthink, I can overthink. I have gotten so much better at it because I reframe it like this. Stop getting caught up in the how. Understand that the how is not your job. Your job is to focus on the what, not the how. The how is up to higher power, source, God, Allah, the universe, whoever it is that supports your belief system. That is who works on the how. You should be focused on the what. That is allowing. Allowing involves intention. So I see something, I want it. A request help me, guide me towards this. And then when you get the guidance, you take the action. That's how you focus on the what. But don't miss that in order to truly hear that guidance quickly and clearly is to make sure that you are on the allowing frequency. So you have to cultivate a mindset and a frequency of allowing all, as much as you can. I don't want you to feel like you have to walk around as this perfect person and always be in this frequency. That's not how life is set up. Shit's going to happen. You're going to get upset. You're going to get annoyed. It happens to all of us. It happens to me. However, I am able to understand it. I have created that space enough in my subconscious where I can say, okay, I'm annoyed. I understand that. But when I really look at this and unpack it, I don't really need to be annoyed. I can do that very quickly. And so it quickly gets me back into a state of allowing, and then I can get guidance. So I'm saying focus on the what, meaning put a request out there, you make an intention and you ask for guidance and you hear the guidance because your only job is to focus on the what and cultivate a vibration of peace and allowing and trust and faith and expectation. And however you do that, I gave you the 4 things that helped me get there, but there may be other things. And if that works for you, go with it. Just be cognizant of the fact that you need to be there every day as much as you can. Last thing I want to tell you about in this integrating wanting and allowing is the action. So if you're focused on the what, you set an intention, you ask for guidance, and then you take action, that's inspired action. Inspired action means I was inspired. I got something told me, my intuition. I got a download is what I call them, where I just kind of get the guidance, like, this, I kind of know, like, I should be doing this. This is next. But it comes when I ask and I cultivate the space. And so that's inspired action. When you are getting inspired action, that's from a higher place. That's your source, God, through you, through your soul, through your intuition. And so, like I've been saying, and I will say it again, when you are wanting and needing, you are not able to hear the guidance. But as you train your mind and your body daily, your body to feel when it's tight, when you're anxious, you're training your mind by noticing what you're thinking and being able to pivot when you're in the negative portion of those repetitive thoughts. You will be able to feel the difference over time, and you will be able to notice it so quickly when you find yourself in the need, the lack, the scarcity, the desperation versus allowing and flowing. And a lot of times I get asked the question, well, how do you know that you're getting guidance from a higher power or from God, versus you just talking to yourself? Like maybe it's your subconscious telling you that you should do something. How do you know the difference? You know the difference when you have learned and trained yourself to feel the difference. That's why you take those steps, that the 4 practical tips I gave, that helps you, because really you're training your body and mind to feel. And so then you know the difference between your subconscious mind talking to you and you getting inspired action. The best way that I could explain it is when I'm getting like guidance, it's such a soft, gentle nudge. It's very it's like placed into my mind. It's like I just kind of know it. And it's like a little whisper or like a feather going across your skin. Like it's that light, versus a lot of times with our subconscious, that can be forceful, like it's like, you need to do this or you shouldn't be doing that. That is not guidance. That is you versus you. That's you trying to protect yourself. That's you trying to live in fear of something happening or not happening if you take action or don't. That's you versus you. Guidance, think soft whisper, think feather, it's never forceful. God is not going to be yelling at you internally. That's not how angels talk. That's not how your higher self interacts with you. Like, that's just not how that works. So hopefully that answers a common question, because I know that I get that a lot. So we kind of talked through integrating wanting and allowing, I think the best, shortest way to really talk through like a strategy for cultivating a mindset that blends both wanting and allowing is, this is another Abraham Hicks jewel that I love, being satisfied where you are and eager for more. That's really how you want to look at it. That is being in a constant state of allowing versus wanting and needing. When you are satisfied where you are, that means I understand where I am. That's where I am. Do not confuse satisfied with complacent. I didn't say complacent where you are. Satisfied means I know where I am because I'm the reason I'm here. I created this, good or bad. It's on me. So I have to own that and be satisfied knowing that the same way I created where I am, I can create where I'm going too. And so that should give you peace alone, because even if you aren't happy with what you have created, you know that you have the formula to be able to create different and better. So that's why you should be eager for more. So you're eager to work in tandem with the higher power or with God, because you are saying, now I know how to do this. I'm going to set my intention. Y'all work on the how. I'm going to focus on the what, and you guide me through that, and we are going to ride off into the sunset. So it's satisfied where you are and eager for more. So that is all I have for you today. I hope that I've given you some insight and some perspective on how to create the things that you desire with ease. Just to recap our takeaways, remember that when you are wanting something so bad that it feels like a need, that is a scarcity frequency. That is coming from a place of lack. You want to be in a constant state of allowing, which is trust, which is faith, expectation, and setting an intention. So that's really all that I have for today. I just want you all to know that allowing is the runway for abundance. The more that you allow, the more that you are on the frequency of allowing, the more things can flow to you. And abundance is not just financial abundance. It can be an abundance of love, abundance of health, an abundance of time, whatever it is that you are after. Being in that state of allowing allows all of the things that you have put out that you want to come to you. So I want to challenge you all to, for the next 7 days, try that gratitude in thing I was telling you about that morning before your feet hit the ground. Try it out. Just in your inner mind, just go through like, I am thankful for this. I am thankful for that. Try to pull 2 or 3 things if you can for what you're thankful for. Do it for 7 days, every day for the next 7 days. And I am willing to bet you are going to notice a difference in how you feel, how your days go, possibly what you manifest. And I will be excited. DM me on Instagram and let me know how that worked for you. You can catch me at Zenergy Group. This is all I have. I promise I'm done now. I hope you guys are vibrating higher now than you were when you first came. I will talk to you all soon, and I wish you all love and light.